Film fans YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your Movie Apprentice, and today I am getting to it eventually. It is my February tier list for the year 2025. There's been a bit of delay in this one because, of course, we just had the Oscars season come round. I did my predictions video, and I did some forfeits in that video. And I said, well, play in the clip. And if I get less than 15 right, there is going to be a second chance review. Yep, if I got 50 of them, I would not have had to do any forfeits, but because I was surprised by Demi Moore and Real Pain losing, and I was stupid enough to back Nosferatu to win cinematography, I got 14 out of 23 right, which means I'll be going on Letterboxd and doing a list of every film I have graded 1.5 stars or below. I'm going to post it in the community tab in a couple of days, and you're going to vote on which film I'm going to give a second chance review to. And that review will come out in the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we have the February films that I watched this year. I wanted to get the last show going here, but it came out the last day of February. I won't be seeing it till tomorrow. So I'm going to be pushing that towards the March tier list. Without further ado, there were 8 new films I saw in February, and it was an interesting month to say the least in terms of quality, as it fluctuated so heavily one way or the other. Going through my tiers, we have the must-see cinema. These are the films that I think if you're a film fan, you have to see these movies. If it's physical purchase, it's one I would happily own on Blu-ray myself. I would happily own it physically forever. Glad I watched are movies that I think are really good, but will I watch them again? It is very unlikely. It's very much a one-and-done experience. Worth a stream. These are those mid-films that are worth just some background noise viewing. We have the not for me, those that I personally did not like, but I can see what other people might like them, and the do not watch, which I quite frankly don't feel like anyone should really waste their time with these movies. So without further ado, let's jump into this tier list. And we're starting off strong here with Heart Eyes. And by strong, I mean, oh my god, this film was absolutely abysmal. This tried to do what Thanksgiving did for Thanksgiving, and it failed to do that. The constant running joke of we're not together, but everyone saying they're together. While the kills in this are some all-timers, like the opening kill and the final kill on the big bad, those were all fantastic. Everything in between was very lackluster, and the lack of real body count to the latter half of the film was very irritating for me. Heart Eyes was a film that I could not vibe with the script, I could not buy the romance, and the bookending part of the film wasn't good for me either. This is a film that I just did not like, but if you're someone that wants to look at hot actors and loves some very gory kills, which I know is the standard for some people, it's just if there's gory kills, it's a good movie to them. But for me, it wasn't for me, so that's where Heart Eyes is going to be going. And then we have Love Hurts, Ki Hoi Kwan getting a leading role in this, and he is charming as ever. There is some decent comedy in this one, and I love the relationship that is briefly established between his lead character and Sean Astin's character. That being said, though, this film has this weird habit of having voiceovers talking to the audience and expressing their feelings that you would see on a stage show, which works on a stage show but doesn't really work in a movie. And I found Ariana DeBose's character to be very weak, which is a shame because Ariana DeBose is great. But this film just did not work for me. It's one of those films that it's worth watching for the Ki Hoi Kwan performance. And there's one scene where he's trying to sell a house while everyone's trying to kill him, which I thought was great. If the film was more like that, I would have really liked it. But unfortunately, it's just a bit of a mess for me. I would say this one is worth a stream, but this could have been so much better. Memoir of a Snail, holy hell, this film was incredible to me. I missed it at the London Film Festival, but one guy that did see it told me all these amazing things about it, how it wasn't a stereotypical animated film. It was filled with a lot of crude humor, sex, drugs, alcohol, all that above. It's definitely not a for kids animated film, and it's one of those films that left me feeling empty inside, but in a positive way, if that makes sense. It made me reflect on my own life, and the way it is just a memoir of this character telling their life story to a snail, but they're using the stop motion animation to its fullest potential, expressing these things they're describing in an outstanding way. Memoir of a Snail is just a beautiful piece of cinema, and the overall message of allowing ourselves to be trapped in cages of our own making was so damn good. And there was a character in this that I absolutely despised, which is a hard thing to do these days in movies, because these days, villains tend to be cool, you can kind of get where they're coming from, but there's a character in this that, oh, I want horrible things to happen to them. This was a fantastic piece of cinema. Memoir of a Snail is an independent Australian film, and as Sean Maker said at the Oscars, support independent cinema because this is exactly the case of why you should support independent cinema. Memoir of a Snail for me is a must see cinema quality level of film. September 5th, I thought was a really powerful film that reminded me why I did want to become a journalist when I was in secondary school before I pivoted to wanting to get into building film. And I ended up doing like the middle ground as a hobby, which I find quite amusing. I love the performances in this. I love the drama. I saw that I was very unfamiliar with the real story and how it climaxed. I was along for the ride from start to finish, and it took me through all the emotions of hope and despair. Those that do know the story going into this probably won't get the same level of emotional investment as I did in it because they know how it ends. So all these false dawns and these bits of information that do turn out to be false, they already know in advance going in, whereas those that aren't familiar with the story are not aware. So there's a balance to that. September 5th is one that I'm glad I saw, but is it one I'm likely going to watch again? Probably not, because I won't give the same experience on a repeat viewing because now I know how it plays out. I know the whole story. It's going to have less of an impact on a repeat viewing. And then we have I Am Still Here, the film that has basically taken Brazil by storm and was a deserving winner of international feature. I wish I went on my heart on that prediction, but everything was leaning towards Emilia Perez, so I picked that. Glad to have been wrong on that one. I Am Still Here. It's a fantastic piece of cinema, and it is very much a must-see piece of cinema just for Fernando Torres' performance alone. It is a great movie. I would usually put it in one of those I'll probably not watch again. Glad I watched categories, but I feel like this film goes beyond that. And it is, for me, must see cinema, though it does come behind Memoir of a Snail for me. Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. I was taken to this one having only seen a bit of Bridget Jones' Baby, not seen the previous two. And this film was a shocker, to be honest, because you go into it expecting middle aged cougar Bridget bursting after young guys. And whilst there is that, the themes this film dives into about family, about grief, about loss, and the journey Bridget and her family goes through. This is supposed to be a chick flick rom-com, to use the old stereotypical line, but it does so much more than that. And it almost tells old tropes of rom-coms to go away. There's literally a moment where there's a big confession of love speech, and that person gets rejected because they are not what the character they're speaking to needs at that moment in time. And it just feels very real. Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, really went down a path I don't think anyone was expecting. And for me, it's definitely a physical purchase for me. I really like this movie. I'm good I didn't get to review it, but I put it out to a vote what I'd review, and people chose different films to Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, which is a shame. But I really enjoy this movie. Physical purchase all day long. Ah, yes, Captain America Brave New World, the film that's people are calling the worst Marvel movie ever. Oh, I have not missed this thing. Whenever a Marvel movie comes out, you have to either love it or you hate it. It's either the worst Marvel film ever or a fantastic return to form. 9 times out of 10, when these claims are being made about a Marvel film, I find it to be just okay or a bit disappointing, but it is by no means a bad film, no means a great film. It's just slap bang in the middle. I know it's a boring way to look at things, but fortunately, that's how it's come across. It was failed by its marketing campaign because all the advertisements show the Red Hulk, but the film builds up the Red Hulk as a focal mystery. That's so that you don't know what's going to happen, but everyone going into it knows it's going to happen because it's on all the marketing. So all that tension that was being built for this big climactic third act set piece doesn't work because we know going in, so that takes away all the suspense of the movie. And whilst Harrison Ford and Mackie do a great job in this movie, like Anthony Mackie is great as the new Captain America. Can't wait to see him get to do more. It just feels like Captain America Brave New World had too much expectations going in, and that's led to a lot of discourse. For me, it's an okay film. For me, it's worth a stream. It's going to be on Disney Plus of all the other Marvel films. It is one that's a perfectly fine watch, and that's just where it's going to go. And finally, we have The Monkey, this Stephen King film that I went into expecting this over the top gore fest. And yes, you do get the over the top gore fest. This is less a horror movie and more a comedy. Like the kills in this are very creative and very out there, but I just could not stand the lead characters in this, and it feels like any sense from minute one, to be quite honest. The Monkey is a film that I wanted to learn more than I did. Like, it did give me what I expected in terms of over top bloody kills, but the overacting campiness of the two leads and the fail to juxtapose the serious moments with the comedy moments, like, go in expecting a comedy with very hammy acting. But for me, it just does not hit the levels of like your Malignants or your Thanksgivings when it comes to hammy acted, campy horror movies. But it is worth watching just for these kills because the kills are so much fun. The kills are very much what elevates this, even more so than it does with Heart Eyes. The Monkey for me is one that I would again say is worth a stream. I would definitely put it above Love Hurts, but below Captain America Brave New World. So there we go. 8 movies I saw in the month of February 2025. And as you can see, there is a nice split between what I feel like they're like in terms of quality. Obviously, Last Struggle came out on the 28th of February in the UK, but I'm going to have to push that to the March tier list because, quite frankly, it's been a long weekend. Very little sleep with all my other hobbies and interests as well. But yeah, that's my tier list for February. Let me know, how would you rank the films from February down in the comments below. And make sure you're subscribed and click that like button for more video reviews, tier lists, video essays, and predictions like this coming all the time. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh. I've been Movie Apprentice. I'll see you all in the next